Recall being 10 years old, a summer vacation stretched on for what felt like an eternity. Waiting for your birthday was an agonizingly slow process. As an adult, you blink and January turns into December. Entire months slip away in what feels like a long weekend. It leaves you wondering if the physical laws of the universe somehow hit fast forward, or if something inside your own brain changed how it tracks the world. A year is still exactly 365 days. The Earth hasn't sped up its orbit. This mystery is a phenomenon of our own neurobiology. We naturally assume we experience time exactly as a clock measures it. A ticking second hand, 52 weeks, 12 months, a constant, unyielding pace. But your brain doesn't actually contain a biological stopwatch. It doesn't track days or hours to calculate how much time has passed. This timeline shows how the mind actually measures duration. Instead of ticking off seconds, the brain drops a glowing marker for every unique, novel experience you encounter. This establishes an internal yardstick for your life. The more of these markers your brain records, the longer that specific period feels when you look back on it. Think about your life as a kid. Nearly everything you encounter is a first. Your first day of school, your first time seeing the ocean, learning how to ride a bike. Because the world is entirely unfamiliar, your brain has to pay deep, focused attention to figure out how everything works. It runs at maximum processing power. Watch what happens to the timeline during childhood. It gets flooded with tightly packed markers. Every small detail is captured and stored in high definition. When you recall those early years, your mind has to sort through a massive, dense archive of data. That sheer volume of recorded information makes a single childhood summer feel like a decade. While memory density is the primary driver, a mathematical concept called fraction theory explains why time seems to speed up even further as we age. This chart represents a 5-year-old's lifespan. To them, a single year is a massive 20% block of their existence. But watch what happens as they age. By 50, that exact same 365-day period represents only 2% of their life. The absolute length of the year remains constant, but its relative size within your memory bank shrinking. As your personal timeline grows, the relative psychological weight of any single year unavoidably diminishes. Mathematical proportions explain part of the problem, but the predictability of adulthood is what truly causes years to vanish. You wake at the same hour, drive the same route to work, sit at the same desk, and return to the same house. When we look at the brain's timeline during these repetitive loops, the markers extinguish. To save energy, your mind stops paying attention to inputs it already recognizes. You've likely experienced this. You cruise down a monotonous highway, pull into your driveway, and realize you have no memory of the last 20 miles. Your brain knew the route so well it went into standby mode. As we get older, large sections of our daily existence shift into this exact autopilot state. Those months between January and December don't vanish because time is moving faster. They disappear because your brain simply stopped hitting the record button. Fortunately, you are not a passive victim in this process. Because your subjective sense of time relies on memory density, the speed at which you experience life is malleable. You can trigger a manual override. You do this by breaking the loop. Travel to an unfamiliar city. Learn a complex new skill. Take a different route home. This forces your mind to wake up. By feeding yourself unfamiliar information, you pull your brain out of its energy-saving efficiency mode and force it to start capturing deep, vivid memories again. A long feeling life doesn't come from simply surviving more years on a calendar. It comes from proactively giving your brain something worth remembering.